Ladies and gentlemen, what have we got going on in Belfast? It's so sad, ladies and gentlemen, because this is poor innocent people that have nothing to do with this. It starts with this. A man arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after brutal knife attack. Now, a man in his 30s remains in custody after an incident in North Belfast that took place on Monday at around 10:30 p.m. It's been mentioned that they recovered what they believe to be a kitchen knife at the scene. So here we can see the local residents in action trying to save the man's life who's being attacked by this lunatic. Now, a man has been injured in this attack, a man in his 40s. I believe his picture has just been released by the media. He is in hospital where his conditions are described as serious. It was revealed that he had serious slash wounds to his back, his face, and a serious eye injury as well. Now, this is where it gets interesting because the Home Office are telling us that the attacker was on a leave to remain in the UK until 2028. With the way things are going in today's current climate, how do you think the locals are going to respond to hearing such a thing?
Fiery protests erupted in Belfast last night, with homes and cars being torched after the horror attempted beheading that rocked the nation. Several houses and vehicles, including a bus, were set alight following outrage over the attack in which a man in his 40s suffered injuries to his eyes, neck and back. Yobs in balaclavas torched cars parked on residential streets and driveways in the Northern Irish capital, with at least 3 houses catching fire as a result. Meanwhile, in London, protesters gathered in Parliament Square carrying Union Jack flags and obstructing the roads. It comes after cops arrested a Sudanese asylum seeker who travelled to Belfast in February 2023 before being granted leave to remain in the UK. 30-year-old Hadi Al-Adid was charged with attempted murder and is due to appear at Belfast Magistrates Court later today.
In several parts of Belfast, protests escalated into violence with cars, buses and some houses being set on fire. Police clashed with protesters and some residents had to be evacuated from burning properties.
Running for their lives. Immigrant families targeted in East Belfast in one of the worst nights of violence seen in Northern Ireland in over a decade. Police resources heavily stretched as chaos unfolded on the streets. The protests began shortly before 7 p.m, with many turning violent instantly. This was the scene on the Newtownards Road, where a glider bus was hijacked and set alight. Just a short distance away, cars and homes were torched, with many of the residents fleeing for their lives. Elsewhere, in Cloughfern, close to 800 people gathered where they hijacked cars and threw petrol bombs at police. These were the scenes off the Crumlin Road in the north of the city. It was here that masked men swept through the streets, setting cars alight and torching homes. Police responded, but on most occasions, it was too late to save property. The fire service said that it dealt with 256 calls. This resulted in attendance at 62 separate incidents. The fear is that violence could continue to run for several nights.
Holy fuck. You can't even stand that close to it. You need to go back. Right. What's he saying? Ew! There's the other tire away. Not that there. Wonder what that is.
We've got fireworks on it.
I'm getting hollered tonight.
And you can tell the girl that we just initially see that this girl, she's not happy with this. This girl looking at that thinks, what is going on? Why would we be doing this? Why would we do this to innocent people? I mean, after watching those clips right there, you have to say this is extremely disturbing.
Horrific incident in Belfast needs a different response than normal because of what's happened in Southampton. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go through our normal judicial process, which is a incident happens, the police take care of it, it gets escalated to the CPS, it then goes through the courts, they get a sentencing, and then that person then goes to jail. Now, because of the sheer media and political pressure, there is now a demand for more information to be released about this incident before it's ready to aid the cause of far-right political parties wanting to remove anybody of colour who commits any crime immediately. And they then want to use that as a case to remove all people of colour. And that particular tar and brush doesn't necessarily relate to any other identity. If you're a Muslim or a person of colour, that means everybody must go. But if you are white, or if you are a woman, or if you are Christian, it means that it's an isolated incident and it all goes away. Now, I am not playing around with this. I watched the video by mistake. It's absolutely grotesque and disgusting. I expect that he will be prosecuted, and I expect that he will have a very serious and long-term sentence, as he should. But the fact that there is a question about abandoning judicial processes as a result is a disgrace, because it puts the prosecution in jeopardy if information is then being leaked or announced before it's time, to quell the feverish, rage-baiting hate from a particular part of our community.
What's happened in Belfast can only be described as barbaric. There's no doubt about that. They said that the victims got injuries to his eyes, his back and his face. I am shocked that he's alive, I'll be honest with you, watching the
Thanks
video.
to those local residents, man. The locals, if they wasn't there, this 40-year-old man, bless him, he literally could have been dead. And I want to say this because people out there need to understand that people of colour, whether they're black, whether they're mixed race like me with a white mum and a black dad, like, we don't condone none of this. We don't want to see this happening. Like, I personally don't want to see none of this happening. What happened in Belfast is sick, and none of us condone this. We want a peaceful society with peaceful people that want to unite and that want to share and that want to build a family, a society, a community together, blood. That's what this is all about, man. Whether you're Irish, whether you're Scottish, whether you're English, this is Britain, Great Britain. Seems like over the past couple of years, ever since Keir Starmer's come into play, we're just Britain. You know, we're just Britain. We're not even great anymore. Over these past couple of weeks and months, I'm fed up of going online and seeing the division, the segregation between communities, people not getting along, people being racist, calling each other out and saying X, Y, and Z. It is so frustrating, especially for a mixed race person who is stuck in the middle, more or less. You know, I'm not religious or anything like that, but my family, my white family, are Jewish. My black family are Christian. I don't even know them really, but they're British Christians that were actually, my father was born here. My mother and that side of the family, they've been here for generations. It's only my granddad on my mother's side who was an immigrant, but he was Maltese Italian. He's white. I can show you a picture of him right now. I've got him up there in my studio. God bless him, RIP to my granddad. Being a mixed race person, Britain is all I know. British is all I am. Born in London, Tower Hamlets. Born and bred here. Mum was born in Tower Hamlets. My nan was born in Hackney. Family still in Hackney. Stamford Hill. My father's family are from Newham. But all of this stuff that is going on right now, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to say in this video that no one of colour wants to see this happening in Britain. We want a peaceful society where everyone gets along with each other. You know what song that hits home? There's a song that hits home that was in a cartoon many, many years ago. And it's that cartoon Arthur.
Group of people, the person to blame for this incident is not going to be just the attacker. It's going to be all immigrants, it's going to be all Somalis, it's going to be anybody that's not white, basically. And typically the usual suspect is rousing the rebels, mass protests tonight from 7 p.m. and it would be fine. It would actually be great if it's just a protest, but it's never the case, is it? So, you know, just be very careful, everybody making their way home this evening, because clearly people are going to be angry and they cannot differentiate between one Somalian man attacking a white man and all Somalian men or all people of colour. Clearly, his people will not understand that every person of colour does not stand with these actions. So just be very careful when you're going home, travelling through city centres tonight. And again, my sympathy lies with the victim and with his family. I pray that he's able to have a speedy recovery and that he's able to get the support that he's desperately going to need.
Absolutely agree with what she said there. Beautifully said. You know, nobody wants to see these type of incidences take place.
And yeah, another incident. Another fucking incident. Man, nearly beheaded with a fucking Stanley blade. Again. When are you all going to realise, yeah, that every time something like this happens and we say enough is enough, then something else happens again? No protest is going to change shit, yeah? I am fucking pissed right off with all of this, just as well as everyone else. Well done to the lad for stepping in last night. Hats off to you. But when are you all going to fucking realise, yeah, that mass non-compliance is the only way, yeah, that you're going to get change? No protest and being angry is going to solve shit. You're going to go there to these protests, your mates are going to get nicked, the police are going to nick you, and then what? You're nicked, you're getting arrested, bye! Doing 5 years in jail for going to a fucking protest, show your anger. We need a mass non-compliance all over the fucking country.
Yeah, what happened last night on the streets of Belfast, barbaric, horrific in every way. We know that the man was of Sudanese origin. Number 10, a point blank refusing to say whether he came here legally or illegally. All that we know is that he was given leave to remain. Well, I'm sorry, but we're giving out that sort of status. We're dishing it out like Smarties to people we haven't properly checked. And I very much doubt whether this man should have been in Britain at all.
I don't find myself agreeing with Nigel Farage, but based on this situation, he is right. You know, we're letting people into the country who haven't been vetted.
The government always appeal for calm. Let's be calm. Don't cause a fuss. Don't frighten the horses, unless, of course, it's George Floyd, somewhere in the Midwest of America, and then then it's fine to be angry. I have made it really clear for years.
That's the only problem I have with all of this, man. It's making it about race all the time, man. I don't know what's going on. It's the only problem I have with this. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do? It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to say anything. It's difficult to have an opinion on this. Extremely difficult, because one thing we don't want to do is rub people the wrong way. One thing we don't want to do is allow our opinions to affect someone else's attitude. That's how I think, especially when it comes to politics. This is one of the reasons why I avoid trying to speak about politics, because one thing that politics does do is divide opinion and eventually divide the people.
Anybody that comes to Britain illegally should not be allowed to stay. And when it comes to those who legally come to Britain, if they're coming to work and contribute and integrate, that's fine. But if they're not, frankly, they shouldn't be here.
Again, I can't help myself agreeing with the last part he said there. If people are coming to the country because they want to work, they want to contribute, they want to assimilate and integrate and all of those type of things there, then so be it. Come and join the gang, you know what I'm saying? But if you're here just to ponce, rob, scam, you know, like cheat, rape and all of that, what we doing here, bruv? So this is the image of the victim, ladies and gentlemen. He's currently in hospital at the moment. Hope he does get well soon.
They don't mess about. This is just some of the destruction from after the demonstrations here in Belfast earlier. You can see there's 1, 2, 3 cars, there's a moped burnt out, there's multiple other objects that are burning. Further down there's still a car alight. So, and this is just the first night of many, and let's see what
first night of many, boy. It ain't over.
Somebody explain how these riots in Belfast even make any sense. So this Sudanese man stabbed someone, he's been arrested, he's going to go to court, he'll probably go to jail for a long time. So why are you kicking in the doors of random brown and black people? Why are you setting their homes and businesses on fire? What does that achieve? What does that make you when you scare innocent women and children? There are children in those homes. Imagine the fear that they had when you louts turned up, throwing rocks through their window and kicking out. That's all I can say. That's what you guys are. That's not taking your country back. That's not anger at what one man did. That is an excuse to be racist. That is an excuse to be violent. That is an excuse to be a thug. Nobody should have their doors kicked in and their house set on fire. This is atrocious. And the fact that it was allowed to happen and it wasn't stopped speaks volume. So I expect in the next few days to see a plethora of arrests. And if we don't, then we really have to question. It's just racism. It's just racism. It's not anger. It's not anything else. It's racism.
With attacking innocent people, you know, blowing up homes and cars and buses, and I mean, that's insane. That is insane. I mean, that's not going to help anyone. You're more or less destroying your own community. Now, let's just be totally honest about it. It's a disturbing and horrific ordeal that is taking place. And all the real ones out there, their hearts will go out to the victim and the victim's family. The real ones will also want the man from Sudan sent back to Sudan, sent back to where he came from. Bearing in mind, he's on a leave to remain up until 2008. Well, I think it's time to leave right now. It is time to leave right now. And at the same time, there needs to be a lot more scrutiny on the process of how people can seek asylum here in the UK. There needs to be a stricter process. So much more due diligence needs to be done into a person's background before you start signing paperwork saying, yeah, you can stay here for another 4 years, 5 years, or however many years. We never had this problem 10, 15 years ago, and all of a sudden, since 2020, everything's gone downhill, and then hit 2024, the worst of the worst is starting to happen. Speedy recovery to the victims, anyone that has been affected by this ordeal. It is truly sickening, but something needs to change. And it doesn't involve violence, it doesn't involve division, racism, segregation, you know, anything along those lines. It's about unifying, everyone coming together and making a stand and saying, you know what, we're tired of how this country is being run. Something needs to change. Anyway, leave all your thoughts, opinions and comments down below. Let's be respectful, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a great community of people over here. Let's not lose our attitudes. Let's not say stupid things in the comment section. Let's be respectful with what we're saying, but don't hesitate to say what you want to say. Just don't hesitate to say it. Just say it. But remember what you are saying when you leave that comment. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if we're newly watching, turn your notification bells on. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.